I want to be a city council member and ran for the city council and now sits on the city council. So we're excited to have her here today to address everyone and make a few remarks. Please welcome my good friend, school board member and city council member, Mary Tao.
I got it. It's getting better. Like 6 hours then. Oh yeah. We all talk to you. Yep.
Before I give my remarks to everyone, can my fellow school board members that are here today or still here, can you please stand up? And can our new superintendent, Dr. Keith Hilt, stand up too? Thank you. Earlier, we failed to ask the three of you to stand up, and I wanted all of you to be recognized, so thank you so much. Nhớ trong ha talk với chúng trong cái tin nên chẳng số vật là cái nào cái gì, cho phong như cho nhớ gì cho nhớ tê, cho nó cho nọ chữ, hắn mấy số vật thôi em muốn mình mở rộng hơn. Cú rộng sa tao ý hướng khâu luôn nó chắc ăn tôi cũng mấy số vật thôi. Cũng như vả hát sa tại mấy số vật thôi như nặc nhớ rộng. Ở trong mấy tôi cũng bên nó cú sang hát tôi executive director Yi Ling Shong ở trong có ha lúc có Hmong American Center mấy chị cháu của tôi hát lu ban thế mấy lu công trình là mấy lu Hmong festival tôi từ Giang Sơn du nó để cú ở mấy số vật thôi trong dĩ mong tận đây của yo halu nika to số vật thôi cho họ bên như mỗi cái phong như to sáng giàu to cũng như sáng có po nó cũng ra lu ha cũng có message cho po số vật thôi to nữa nó em cho mấy sáng để du cũng ha. Good morning, family, friends, community members, leaders, elders, distinguished guests, elected officials, our governor who left already because he had other obligations. To Kyungwon Steve Lee, coming all the way from Elk River, California. Thank you for being here. My gratitude to the Hmong American Center and their entire leadership team for planning another great community event which will continue to draw in thousands of attendees and inviting me to join in on the opening ceremony this morning. With the success of last year's event, it goes to show that we are now living in a new era of leadership, transforming how we bring together communities to embrace our Hmong culture and our values. The young leadership among us are on their way to the front lines, creating and shaping the way we want to share and tell our Hmong story of the last 40 years and what we believe and hope the next 40 years will look like. This leadership promises renewed passion, energy, creativity, innovation, and inclusion. 1 year ago on this very stage, I shared my context of the Hmong progression here in Marathon County. I thank the past contributions of our elders and those who fought the war to provide our freedom. This freedom led the generation before me and my generation to stay focused, to be a pillar to those who come after us, and to value a high work ethic, and to never make excuses not to succeed. I also shared the Hmong contributions to our economy here, the labor workforce, and other gains and achievements we've made in education, business entrepreneurship, and one of the greatest testimonies was our continued progress with being engaged civic citizens. I validated that we now have a roadmap to seek Hmong professionals to public office and those who share our key interests and concerns. In the last 12 months, I am very proud to say and proclaim our progress that we have elected Hmong professionals to public elected seats here in central Wisconsin, and I will list them for all of you. We seated Yilang Shong to the Weston Village Board, Ka Lo to the Marathon County Board, Chai Moore to the Portage County Board, and last but not least, me, Mary Tao, to the Wausau City Council. As we open up this event today, I have a new message and opportunity to share with all of you. You will walk the festival and experience a vibrant culture and meet citizens that share your community space. We have done okay, in my opinion, to embrace diversity by having dialogue where it's needed, putting professionals on boards and organizations, providing minority entrepreneur business grants, just to name a few of the positives when it comes to diversity in central Wisconsin. However, there are still things in which we lack, which you and I can help provide when it comes to diversity. I have yet to see a city, county, school district, and our largest employers here in central Wisconsin employ people of color, women, or emergent leaders in leadership roles, creating shareholder value or working on corporate strategies. Oftentimes, we talk about diversity and wanting that in our community and organizations. We believe that if we place one person of color in our system, that we can automatically claim being a diverse entity. I'm asking all of you for more and for your support, because now more than ever, the diversity that we are seeking are young professionals and young families to the area. But if these young emergent leaders and talented professionals can't flourish or be given opportunities to be employed or to lead in some of our largest institutions, they will not stay. I want to provide one context and example for all of you. I remember I was courageous, and being new to committees and boards, I had volunteered myself to be a chair of a committee. And I was turned down, but it's okay. I didn't expect to get the nomination votes to be a chair of a committee. But what I was told was, we don't really allow new people who just came onto an elected public seat to be the chair of something. It is these types of scenarios that I ask you, that young professionals like me are eager, we're hungry, where we want to lead. Allow emergent leaders like us take the reins and give us the opportunity. Sometimes we don't expect young professionals to challenge the status quo, and when we do, don't take that as a challenge or an insult to your current position. Don't close us off, and don't limit our opportunities. Someone I admire once said to me, "Mary, central Wisconsin, yeah, we like diversity, working for us, but not leading us." I believe you and I can change the future here in central Wisconsin. We can create a diverse workforce community, along with all the great things that we are doing today. Leadership that is different from what we are comfortable with is normally unacceptable, but let us make that acceptable. When we can learn to understand and appreciate different perspectives and backgrounds, we can truly create ingenuity, and we can truly have innovation. In conclusion, we have to be willing to take risks and go places others refuse to go. You and I hold the keys to create environments that are a reflection of our community. I wish everyone well, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day today here at the Hmong Wausau Festival. Thank you very much.
For the Village of Weston, Barb Ermeling.
Well, thank you for the kind remarks. Good morning. On behalf of the Village of Weston, I would like to welcome you to the Hmong Wausau Festival. I want to thank the festival chairman, Yi Ling Yang, for the invitation. Yi and his committee has done a fantastic job. I'm amazed at the size of this festival, and I'm anxious to get to look through all the booths and watch some of the games. When he asked me if I would speak, I told him I would, but just keep in mind I'm not a speaker, so mine will be very short compared to the other ones here. I hope you enjoy all the activities that are here. if you're a participant, a spectator, I hope that you meet up with some new friends and visit with old friends and family. And please keep in mind that diversity is what we are all about in Marathon County. We are very pleased to have Yi Ling on the village board. He has added a great deal to us, and just because he was a new member, I did appoint him as the chair of a committee. So have a great time at the festival, and thank you again for inviting me.
He's from Elk Grove, California. He's the first mayor of Hmong descent that has been elected in the United States. I got to know this individual last year, hung out with him for a day and an evening, and this guy is fascinating. If you just hear his stories, if you just hear what he's been through, if you just hear what drove him, what motivated for him to become who he is today, you would be inspired the same way I did. If you just listen to his stories of adversity, how people tell you you're a refugee and you shouldn't make it, or you shouldn't be in that position, this guy is a driver. This guy is a motivator. And the Wausau, the Hmong community in the city of Wausau is excited to have him here today, all the way from Elk Grove, California. Please help me welcome Mayor Steve Lee! Now, that was such an awesome introduction. I'd like to take you back to Elk Grove, and every time I go on stage, I'd like you to give me that kind of introduction. You know, my distinct pleasure to be here, really. Thank you so much for the Hmong community here, for your hospitality. And not only that, but I'm so impressed with the number of elected that are here. I wish in California we could get all the electeds to cooperate, because as the mayor, that's always a challenge. To get 2 council members to agree on anything is a feat in itself. So thank you all the electeds for being here, starting with the governor to the Marathon County Chair, the Board of Supervisors, school board members, county administrators, mayors, council members, and the village representatives. There are too many of you to mention. You know who you are. You come out here not for any sort of fame or any stroke of your ego, but you are here for the right reasons, and that makes me extremely proud that even here in a small community like the Hmong community in Wausau, there are many electeds who have your interest and who have their hearts in the right place. So on behalf of the Hmong community, thank you to each and every one of you. I certainly want to acknowledge the Hmong American Center, not only that, but Yi Ling, and also President Jambang Mua for your leadership, and of course the entire board as well, and your willingness to continue to do this wonderful festival here in Wausau. Now, this is not the first time that I am in Wisconsin, and certainly not the first time in Wausau. And every time I come, I see the Midwestern kindness, the Wisconsin niceness, and I am reminded that us Californians, we have many things to learn from Wisconsin. When I look to Wisconsin, one thing in particular, as the senator earlier mentioned, is some of the efforts by the state government to record the history of the Hmong veterans, these oral histories that, if not recorded now, will forever be lost. That's something that we have to learn in the state of California. For many of the Hmong in the state of California, and many of you may not know, but the state of California actually is home to the largest Hmong population in the United States. But because we are so scattered throughout the state, oftentimes people assume that Minnesota or Wisconsin has more Hmong individuals. But nonetheless, it goes to show that the electeds and the government officials in Wisconsin and Minnesota probably loves the Hmong community a little bit more than the state of California. The efforts in which we have done in California, which resembles the efforts here in Wisconsin, includes recording some of these stories, these oral stories. many of the veterans. Nay cả na local, nay tàu mua cho kỹ là thơ na jo cho bé cho cái tin cho Hmong Wausau. Nên nó hồ Belu School District in Elk Grove Unified. We have a time of remembrance, a set of videos in which we recorded many of the refugee stories and many of the veteran stories. So for any teacher in the world who wants to use this as part of their curriculum, it is readily available online and it is free. So for some of you school board members and the superintendent who's here, that is a resource that the Elk Grove Unified School District, under the Time of Remembrance program that we offer to any educator around the world. These are important stories that if not recorded now, it will be lost forever. But bear in mind, the wonderful part about this is every American here in the United States have this very similar story. Doesn't matter whether you came here 150 years ago, 40 years ago, or yesterday. You have a story, and that's what makes America special. And what's wonderful about these oral stories that are recorded forever is that young people can actually go back and try to figure out, why is there a dairy farm in our community? Who was the individual who came here with their family to start this dairy farm? Or why is this street named Hmoob? Who is this Hmoob guy? What rank was he in the Secret War of Laos? What did he do to bring his family here? These are important stories that all of us bear the burden of retelling it forward. That's why today's celebration is so special. It's about coming together, different community members, different government entities, regionally, to come and support a community like the Hmong community. I believe and I trust that this is not the only event here in Wausau that resembles this. But today we focus on the Hmong, and that's what's special. Each and every one of us come from different parts of the world. Each and every one of us have a different background, but we come today to acknowledge and celebrate the Hmong community. Why? Because only 40 years ago, we know the Hmong's contribution in the Vietnam War. Many veterans who are here today, the last of 30, 40,000 strong at one point. In Lucy Ho no Gu Zhong Xia de Bỏ Tôi Ngọ Chú Sơ Đầu Tua và Sơ Bê Cho Mong Sơ Đầu Nama Ni Taka Ti La Na Thu Sơ Bê Cho Na Lo Cao. Your contributions will forever be remembered by many of us, because the stories that we've heard before, the stories in which the Hmong squad that goes into the hill to rescue the American pilot, regardless of whether the pilot is rescuable or whether the pilot has been killed. The stories in which my father has told me about going to a Phantom jet that's crashed and scraping the remains of the American pilot into a body bag so that that can be returned home to America, to his family, so that they can have closure. This is the bond that the Hmong Americans have that no bullet can shatter. This is the bond that will last forever, and that's what makes the Hmong community very special. That's what makes the Hmong celebration today very special. We bear the burden of retelling this story to young people, to other people, and for many of you who are elected, you have to tell the full story. The Vietnam War includes a chapter in Southeast Asia, in Laos, the theater of Laos, which involved the Hmong, the Mien, the Koob. These are minorities that rose up and fought for democracy, that rescued American pilots, and disrupted the Ho Chi Minh Trail and protected the radar positions so that the bombing runs can happen in Hanoi. These are important facts that we must remember. When I look into the various different states, I have to say Wisconsin is a leader in this. In the early days, we heard that the Wisconsin elected officials, the various folks who are either at the municipal, state level, are the ones who have recognized the Hmong veterans, who have acknowledged the Hmong veterans. And it took a little bit later until Minnesota, California actually followed that. And probably, to be honest with you, California is probably the furthest behind, because we forget that whenever we see new faces, people of different colors here in the United States, it's because the United States of America was involved somehow in that region.
That's why I'm a refugee. I bear the badge of honor. I am a refugee, a former refugee who came to this country because of our involvement. We cannot forget these things. We have to acknowledge it. We have to be accountable to it. We know that refugees at one point rescued American pilots. We know that refugees are the ones that protect American interests, that are on the ground. That's why every time there's a war, there's always an influx of refugees. This is a fact. It doesn't matter how you portray it, it is a reality. So that's what is so wonderful about this, is paying tribute to the Hmong refugees who came here because of a war, and who came here and continue to cling on the fact that we help fight for democracy. That's what the Hmong is so special. That's why this festival is so special. When I look into the audience, I see people of different colors. Whether you're an elected, whether you're a constituent, whether you're just somebody who's walking by. When I look to that, I see that here in Wausau, here in Wisconsin, there's a unity amongst people of different colors. That's what America should be. We should not be talking about how different we are, but we should look to the fact that we all share a common thread of believing in a place called America, a place in which we can have faith in. You know, America, continuing that beacon of freedom, that beacon of light, where the rest of the world can look to and say, we want to be like America. I kid you not, I've been to Israel, I've been to Palestine, I've been to China, and everywhere I go, when I talk about these concepts, those individuals that live in different countries, they look to me in awe. How could a people united by just a thought that we should be having free elections, that we should believe in democracy? It is only Americans. And to each and every one of you who believe in that concept, that is what we celebrate today. When I look to the Hmong community, it is only short 40 years that from the Mekong to the Mississippi, from the mountains of Laos to the Carolinas to the coast of California, we look to the Hmong community and we've seen success. We've seen many Hmong professionals who have dispelled the myth that the debate in the floor of Congress before the Hmong came here was all about whether these hillbillies can actually survive here in the United States. But the Hmong community, when I look, they have defied the odds. We've seen senators, we've seen elected officials, we've seen doctors, lawyers, actors, actresses. These are individuals that at one point were refugees, were hillbillies that lived in the hills. If the Hmong can do it, anyone in the world can do it too. The success of the Hmong people should certainly be acknowledged, should certainly be recognized, but this is no different than any other American story. To the Irish Americans, to the Scots, to the Italian Americans, to the African Americans who continue to struggle, it is the same story. It's about coming to America, believing in something that's greater than us, and striving, working very hard so that we can achieve that very goal. Now, because I came over 2,000 miles to talk to a bunch of Wisconsinites, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention how important it is during this time in the state of California, in the city of Elk Grove. I'm involved in a competitive campaign, and I'm actually here to fundraise in the Hmong community in Sheboygan tomorrow. But for many of you who can make it to Sheboygan, it doesn't matter what color you are, so long as you're there to support Mayor Steve Lee and the city of Elk Grove, you're more than welcome to come to Sheboygan. So I just wanted to throw that out a little bit of that to each and every one of you in the case that you go to Sheboygan. But nonetheless, you can also make your contributions today. Either my point person would be Mary or Elaine, and I'll make them collect it. How's that? But on a serious note, when I look back to the whole reasons why we're here, only in America could a hillbilly in the mountains allow us to be able to stand before you as a law school graduate, as a mayor? Only in America, where we have parents that did not know what education was, but yet understood that they need to tell their kids to go to higher education. It's only in America that we see this festival, a festival of this magnitude, that's all-inclusive. People of different colors, political philosophy, to come together to celebrate a concept. When I think about America, I think about one simple thing. God bless this great country, because if not for America, we would not all be here. If not for America, we would not all know democracy. It is in this great country that we continue to exercise this experiment of democracy. So God bless you, and God bless this great country we call the United States of America.
We're very excited to have him here to make a few remarks. Please welcome from the Visitors Bureau, Richard Barrett.
Good morning, everybody. I want to thank everybody, and thank Yi-Lang Jiang for putting on such a great festival. It's really an honor to be here, especially with all the dignitaries. I feel I'm way overshadowed. But Yi has done such a great job here. He should be in the hospitality business with us. Oh, by the way, he is on my board now, because I know he's such a good hospitality guy. But he's made everybody feel so welcome here that John Spiros thinks this was his personal birthday party. So, just thought I'd tell you that, because we were talking about it earlier while we were in the line and the parade going up. But I just want to welcome everybody to the community. We love having you here. It's a great, great event. But we also, the sporting events that are going out there are now sanctioned by the Badger State Games. And what that means for our athletes that are all participating today is that some of them are going to have the opportunity to play in the National State Games. And that'll be in Virginia next year if they choose to go. What's neat about being in the National Congress of State Games national events is that they are basically participating in the largest Olympic-style events in the United States. So root on your favorite team and bring them along. Encourage them to play the hardest and have a great time in the event. Thank you, everybody. I want to welcome everybody to our community, and we welcome you with open arms. Thank you.
Good morning. It's still morning, right? Every time I step in front of people to welcome them to a festival as wonderful as this one, I cannot help but feel a sense of wonder and gratitude that the Hmong Wausau Festival have such an amazing audience. I welcome you all with warmth in my heart and hope you enjoy the festival and the night festival as much as I will. I would also like to extend a warm welcome to our esteemed guests, Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker, Marathon County Chair Kurt Gibbs, Wisconsin State Senator Jerry Petrowski, Marathon County Supervisor John Robinson, Marathon County Administrator Brad Carger, City of Wausau Mayor Robert Mielke, Mary Tao, Barbara Emmerling, and Steve Lee, Mayor of Elk Grove City. The Hmong Wausau Festival takes on a special meaning and moves on to the next level due to all of your presence. The Hmong Wausau Festival showcases the Hmong culture, food, arts, dance, and athleticism. This festival also showcases the unbending strength and unity of the City of Wausau, its people, and the Hmong community. Welcome again to the Hmong Wausau Festival, and as Mayor Robert Mielke put it, let the games begin.
For the Hmong community, and also for the community as a whole, he's motivated to make this place better. And by his motivation, he became the school board in DC Everett School District. He wanted to do more. Then he became the county supervisor for Marathon County. And I'm sure he's gonna want to do more. Then he became the village trustee for the village of Weston. And he's gonna do more. He's going to make this event better and better next year and the years to come. And like I always said, he's only one man, but he's got 8 people working. He has the power of 8. Please welcome chair of this event, Yi Zhong.
Thank you, Koob. That was a wonderful introduction. You always make me sound better than I really am, so thank you. Greetings to all my friends, to the elected members, the community leaders, and to anybody else that is out there. It is definitely a pleasure to welcome each and every single one of you to the 2nd annual Hmong Wausau Festival. First and foremost, I just want to thank all our wonderful partners, the Central Wisconsin CVB. Nick, are you still here? Nick Akwik? And Nick Akwik? He's not, but I also want to thank Dick from the CVB. If you can stand up, stand up. Can we please give him a round of applause, please? I do also want to thank the Wisconsin Department of Tourism, specifically for their GEM grant. If the representatives of the state of Wisconsin, such as Representative Snyder, Representative Sparrows, and Senator Petrosky is still here, can you please rise up to be recognized, please? I want to thank Midwest Communications, along with our City of Wausau mayor and any council member from the City of Wausau for funding this event. If the members of the City of Wausau, such as the mayor and the council members are here, can you please rise to be recognized? And I also want to thank the Village of Weston for sponsoring this event as well. Can the representatives of the Village of Weston, such as the trustees, rise to be recognized, please? But most important, I want to thank the members of the Hmong American Center Board of Directors, who specifically Mr. Hmong Wausau, for allowing me and giving me this opportunity to host this annual event again. It is truly a great honor to be able to serve as the second annual Hmong Wausau Festival chairperson again this year. However, this event would have never been possible if it was not for a group of dedicated and committed individuals. I know that all my committee members are kind of wandering around right now, but if you do see them with a badge, please do say thank you to them, because this event would have never been possible if it wasn't for them. Can we please give them a round of applause as well? Last year, during the first annual Hmong Wausau Festival, during the inaugural year, our first event, we had over 8,000 attendees from all across the country attend our festivals. We had members attend this festival from Colorado, from Florida, and from many other states. We rented over 1,300 hotel rooms in the central Wisconsin here, generating a total of $1.03 million in economic impact. Well, like I said, this would have never been possible without the wonderful partnerships that we have with the Hmong American Center and the Hmong community has with the local government and our local agencies here. It's individuals like Nick Akwik, who works tirelessly to make this event happen. It's individuals like Bob Stevens, who's the grass master, who works very hard to make this park look great, as great as it is. It's individuals like the young individuals and youth who work hard to make this event run as best as possible. So although a lot of us like to thank me for what I did, it's because of those individuals that this event was possible. Next, I also want to thank Mr. Mayor Steve Lee for taking your time from coming from Elk Grove to join us in central Wisconsin here. It's not as big as Elk Grove City, but I'm hoping you're enjoying this place here. We are not as large as other cities, but we do have a big heart, so we are happy to have you here as well. We want to thank the governor for joining us for the second year in a row, and we also want to thank all the local dignitaries and local officials for joining us. We are proud that we are able to be here and able to celebrate a weekend of sports, music, arts, and festivals. But we also want to thank the Badger State Games. That we want to announce, and we are proud that we are able to partner with the Badger State Games. Because of this year, we are any teams that compete in the volleyball and flag football divisions will qualify to play and compete at the national and state Badger State Games. And this is all possible because of our partnership with the CVB and the Badger State Games. We hope that the community will continue to support this project, continue to support this festival as we continue to grow together and become a part of Marathon County's history. Stay with us this evening, stay with us, taste the food, shop around, go on the bouncy houses. Yes, the adults can go on the bouncy houses here as well. So go on the bouncy houses, enjoy the night festivals, and good luck to all the teams who are competing in the Hmong Wausau Festival Games. Thank you.